I need an adult. I am an adult. No, you are not.
No kid ever asked for adult jokes in movies made for younger audiences, yet here we are. Disney can't help themselves and always seem to sneak in a mature reference here and there. Honestly, we can't blame them. It's a nice wink to the parents who are watching Toy Story for the 1000th time. The binger knows that explaining the joke sort of, well, actually ruins the joke entirely. Still, we've scoured Mickey Mouse's vault for the top hidden adult references you likely missed as a kid. Fair warning, some of them will blow your mind. Number 10. Getting flashed cars. Look, there are a ton of weird things in cars. For instance, the fact that these cars act so humanly. Anytime you compare these automobiles to a real person, things get odd. Remember how Lightning McQueen blows out his back tires in his race? Isn't that like tearing a muscle? Does he even feel pain? We're sure you remember that Lightning actually ends up winning that race. He celebrates like any racing driver would and is surrounded by his beloved fans. Two red female cars drive up to him and tell him that they love him. Then they shine their headlights right at him. Look, you know exactly what's happening here. Just be glad McQueen didn't respond like Ricky Bobby.
Please be 18.
The joke only works when you think of cars like humans. In the real world, we only flash our lights at someone to communicate on the road. Here, it clearly means a way more adult thing. When these cars drive at night and use their brights, what does that mean? We doubt it means they're driving flashing everybody, right? Right? Number 9. Buzz Feels a Buzz, Toy Story 2. Alright, there are a few jokes like this in Disney's canon. Hell, we've got another joke like this a bit further down the list. It's the way that Toy Story 2 does it that just builds on the shock factor. These toys may be a child's plaything, but clearly they have more adult personalities. This moment topped the Toy Story adult jokes and earned a spot on our list. It comes near the end of the film as Buzz gets a moment alone with Jessie. He's complimenting her and trying to make a better impression when suddenly there's an emergency. Our favorite cowgirl springs into action and helps let the dog out of the room. Buzz, seeing this, can't stop his wings from springing out. It's safe to say he couldn't stop those strong feelings he got from the moment. So obviously, Buzz Lightyear is a toy. He doesn't have you-know-what parts because of that. The writers decided to be cheeky about it and use his wings as a replacement. The worst part is that he does it in public. How embarrassing for him. Number 8. Vegetable Lessons, Ratatouille. Remy and his pal Linguini provided audiences with a heartwarming send-up to the culinary arts. So it hurts to point this one out. For the most part, the crew on this film stayed away from adult jokes. We're guessing that's partly because the subject matter was adult enough already. Be honest, even the most hardened adult finds things to like in this movie. We did our searching though and managed to find one sneaky joke. Linguini is sneaking around the kitchen, trying to figure out how to keep Remy unseen by the rest of the staff. Chef Skinner nearly catches the two conspiring in the walk-in. Linguini, thinking fast, claims he is just getting familiar with the vegetables. Skinner responds by saying,
"One can get too familiar with vegetables, you know."
So yeah, it's a hard joke to catch without multiple viewings. It's said super quickly and cut away from like that. But some of you are still confused, so allow Animal House to help explain.
Oh, my cucumber. It's bigger.
Look, they said it, not us. Skinner is clearly worried. But why? Let's hope it's not from experience. Number 7. That Oedipus thing, Hercules. Oh man, this one is a literary reference that definitely slipped past every child that watched it. At least, we hope that's the case. If your kid knows about Oedipus at the age of 5, we're gonna worry about them. That's just a fact. Meg and Hercules are coming back from a date, and our hero is going on about how great a night it was. Seeing as this is ancient Greece, the chief entertainment is theater, and Hercules remarks that
Oedipus thing? Man, I thought I had problems.
The whole story gives Hercules his perspective and make his problems feel less troublesome. Like a lot of jokes on this list, it's super subtle. You look away from the screen and you miss it. You see, Oedipus had issues. His dad left baby Oedipus behind to avoid his destiny. Then Oedipus grows up and slays him. The main character fulfills his destiny but doesn't know it was his dad. He then confronts his mother to take over the throne, but not how you think. he marries into it. Yeah, we're gonna quit while we're ahead. Number 6. You married Elastigirl and The Incredibles. Characters get married all the time in movies. Those same characters also have children, but Disney tends to skip that part between when the newlyweds are working on starting a family. In fact, they barely even address that reality, except in The Incredibles. That movie is a different story. Syndrome captures the entire family and holds them to monologue. It's at this moment that he discovers that his old hero, Mr. Incredible, is married. The fact it's Elastigirl is only more shocking to this supervillain.
Elastigirl?
But then he sees the kids. He exclaims that our two heroes have been, and we quote, busy. Yep, he actually says that for real. Plus, it is not subtle, like at all. Syndrome clearly addresses the fact that Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible did the deed. There's always a first time for everything, and this is a shocking one. It's the fact he does it so outright, just broadcasting it to all his evil henchmen around there. Like, dude, you already caught him. Why shout about the fact they did it to everyone within 100 feet of you? Number 5. Multiplying like bunnies, Zootopia. There are things we could say about Zootopia, but we don't want to alert certain parts of the internet. You know what we're talking about though. Sadly, Zootopia inspired an odd following, and certain jokes didn't help. We have another Syndrome-like call out for this one, so gear up. It's about to get personal and uncomfortable. Officer Judy Hopps is trying to nail Nick for tax evasion, and is in the middle of revealing her evidence. Also, we didn't mean nail in that way. Yes, this is an adult reference list, but get your mind out of the gutter.
Well, that's nasty.
Anyways, Judy is crunching the numbers and getting sarcastic with Nick. She remarks that she may be a dumb bunny, but that bunnies are—
They're good at multiplying.
So we're gonna explain this one, but do we need to? If you're missing the joke, you might need to retake zoology. Bunnies breed at a rapid pace and are known for having a lot of offspring. So Judy implying that she's good at multiplying cuts both ways. Math just got interesting. Number 4. Size doesn't matter, Frozen. We can talk about the fact Anna is marrying a man she doesn't know enough about. The subject matter alone is a bit adult for kids, which is likely why the writers assumed children would tune out. No one likes Hans, and any decision about him usually gets left in the dust. Luckily for adults, this joke was worth listening to, even if it is the 100th time you've had to watch this movie. Sven is helping Anna search for Elsa and rescue her sister. During the trip, the topic of Prince Hans comes up. Sven begins grilling Anna all about his personal details. The question of foot size comes up. It's then that our princess remarks,
Foot size doesn't matter.
well, that's good news for Hans, right? Which brings us to a whole different point. Sure, Anna says size doesn't matter, and we all get that joke, but what does that say about Hans? If Anna's first reaction is to dismiss the question, maybe it's because Hans is lacking in foot size. Can't say we'd be surprised if it's true. He's definitely a prick. Number 3. Pitching a tent to Emperor's New Groove. We interrupt this parade of adult jokes and mature content to give you a brief scene we find lighthearted and endearing. Yes, we're talking about Kronk from Emperor's New Groove. He's the soul of the film and definitely the most heartwarming character in a movie with tons of laughs. The scene we want to showcase is just a funny Kronk moment. No adult references here. Kronk and Yzma are camped out on the road looking for their emperor-turned-llama. Yzma, being selfish, has given herself a large ornate tent that makes Kronk's tiny hut look modest. It's a funny contrast. Yzma has her big tent and Kronk with his— Wait a minute! How is the other side of that tent holding up? Oh gosh, this is another adult reference, isn't it? No, my childhood! Curse you, Disney! Yeah, it's clear and evident that something else is supporting that side of the tent. There's only a stake in the ground on one side. We're sure you can guess what's pitching this tent. Just watch out. You don't want to end up pulling on that lever. Number 2. Truck stop cars. Did we mention Cars is a children's movie from Pixar? You wouldn't know it based on the fact it managed 2 entries on this list. Seriously, who directed this movie? Were the animators and writers just allowed to go wild? 2 offenses on this list is a big deal. We picked the most shocking hidden references we could find. It takes some skill to end up on here twice. So this one is even more of a blink and miss it kind of gag. It comes early on in the movie as McQueen and his driver Mac are on the road. Mac needs a break and pulls into a truck stop for a quick rest. Look at the sign for the truck stop. It's called Top Down Truck Stop and features convertible waitresses. You're not sly, guys. We know exactly why you stopped there. For those unfamiliar with car designs, taking the top down is really only possible on convertible cars. The animators are implying that this truck stop may serve more than just a meal and some rest. Yeah, we're talking about topless cars. Who knew? Number 1. Pollinates with a real bug, A Bug's Life. As we round out this list, we want to make 1 point before getting into this joke. Over time, A Bug's Life has become deeply underrated. Parents aren't showing it to their kids, and many of us are forgetting it happened at all. If you take anything from this video, it should be that you need to go and re-watch this film. Well, at least this scene, so you can see the reference. Francis the Ladybug is entertaining the audience at the circus. He's doing his dance and showing off his adorable flower crown till 2 rude, crass flies begin to catcall him from the crowd. They ask Francis if he'd like to pollinate with a real bug, hence the name of the entry. Honestly, the tone of the joke is understood by almost anyone, but only adults get the practical implication. Quick science lesson: some bugs, in order to help plants reproduce, pollinate a flower. To pollinate with a bug feels like a euphemism in their culture. We all know what those bugs want. That is until Francis reveals that he's a male ladybug. Man, what a sneaky joke. Did we miss an even subtler adult reference in your favorite Disney movie? Tell us in the comments below. While you're at it, like this video and subscribe to keep up. Special thanks to all our subscribers out there enjoying daily content from The Binger. Catch you next time.